So today we're going to be talking about space science. So just to start off, what are some things that you guys see whenever you look into the sky?
I see stars.
The moon.
Okay. The moon. Okay, this is good, good. We see stars, we see the moon. Okay. Um, we're- Another thing that you guys may see, depending on, what time of day it is, things like that, you might also see planets. And first, we're just gonna start off by talking about the different planets that are in our solar system. This is where our planet Earth is located, and the sun, you can't see it in this exact model, but it'll be later. The sun is the center of our solar system, and all these planets that I'm about to tell you guys orbit around it. I'm going to go in order of planets that are close to the sun to the planets that are furthest away. And starting off is Mercury. Mercury is the smallest planet and is the closest to the sun. Then next, over here, we have Venus, which is the hottest planet in our solar system, even though it's not the closest to the sun because it has a very thick atmosphere. If you think about our atmosphere on Earth, uh, it is the atmosphere on Venus is much thicker, and so it traps a lot of heat, which is why even though, whenever you think about it, the planet that is the closest to the sun, right? Shouldn't that planet, which being Mercury, shouldn't that planet be the hottest? It's actually not because Venus has such a thick atmosphere in comparison, which allows it to trap heat, like I said. Next is Earth. It's the only planet that we are aware of right now that is able to support life, especially in our own solar system. Next, we have Mars. It's the planet that is right next to ours, also along with Venus, and it's commonly called the red planet. I have some words up here, which I'll get to later, so I'll come back to this slide. But then these are what we call the inner planets because in between Mars and Jupiter, there is a belt of asteroids. So there's a section of space where it's just asteroids, and that's what separates Jupiter and Mars. But moving on, Jupiter is the largest planet, and it is known for having a big red spot, which is actually a storm that is happening on the surface of the planet. Um, then we have Saturn, which is known for, as you can see, its rings. Um, then we have Uranus, which is a planet that has a very unique tilt. And then finally, we have the planet that is furthest from the sun, making it the coldest planet, um, which is Neptune. And in case you guys ever forget the order of the planets, there's a little saying. It's my very educated mother just served us nachos. And it's a mnemonic, so the first letter of every word is one of the planets. So you can just use that to remember the order of the planets. Then, since we just recapped all of the planets, um, tell me guys, which planet is the hottest? Do you guys need me to go back to the slides where I talk about the planets with the names of them?
Yes, please.
Okay.
And what is the question again?
The question is, what is the hottest planet?
Oh, it's Venus.
Yes.
Oh.
Do you remember the reasoning I gave for why it's the hottest planet, even though Mercury is the closest one to the sun?
Mm,
May
sorry,
I
but
answer?
Yes. You guys don't have to raise your hand or anything. You can just answer.
oh, okay. I'm sorry.
That's okay. You said you were going to answer, Miles, if you wanted to. Okay. Well, the reasoning that I gave earlier for why Venus is the hottest, even though it's not the furthest from the sun, is because it has a very thick atmosphere, which traps the heat, which is why it's hotter. Um, my next question is, what is the biggest planet?
Um, is it the sun?
That's not it. You're raising your hand, Miles. You don't have to do that. You can just talk.
Well, the biggest planet is Jupiter
Yes, that
because
is.
the sun isn't actually considered a planet. It's more of a star.
Yes, that's yes. Very, very good. That's actually what I was going to talk about later in my lesson. I didn't want to spoil it. But yes, the sun is not a planet, it's a star. And the biggest planet is Jupiter.
Oh, wait, oh, hi. Did you capture all the students that were here? Wait. Oh, you said the line? Oh, because
Um,
I went to the wrong place. What?
Next, I have all of the different phases of the moon. Even though there are 8 phases, I'm just going to talk about 6 of them today because these are the 6 main ones. First, we have the new moon right here, which is whenever we can't see the moon. It's just all blacked out like this. Then we have a waxing crescent, which is where we can see the right side of the moon and the shape of a crescent. And I know that the other one isn't on here, but there's also another phase of the moon that's called the waxing gibbous. And right here we can see a different crescent, but it's called waning. So to be able to remember, oh, well, which crescent is the waxing and which one's the waning? The waxing crescent is on the right side of the moon. The right sliver of the moon is showing. And then for a waning crescent, the left side of the moon is showing. So yes, first we have a new moon where we can't see the moon at all. Then a little sliver appears in the shape of a crescent, and that's called the waxing crescent. And then we can see about half of the moon, and we call that the first quarter, the right half showing the light side, or the right side of the moon. The right side of the moon showing is called the first quarter. And then finally, we have whenever we can see the whole moon. So we call it a full moon. And then whenever only the left side of the moon is showing, we call it third quarter. And then whenever only the left sliver of the moon is showing, we call it a waning crescent. So like I said earlier, these are the 6 main phases of the moon, but there are officially 8. Some more things about our moon. A common question is, why does the moon have phases? As we can see here, bringing me to another point, the moon does not make its own light. The moon doesn't have the ability to do so. It just, all it does is reflect light from the sun, which is why we see the moon and we call them moon phases. Um, so, like I said earlier, the moon doesn't glow by itself, it just reflects sunlight, and the sun is always lighting up half of the moon which, is the side that faces the sun, as we can see right here. And as the moon travels around Earth, because the moon does orbit the Earth, meaning that it travels in a kind of circular shape around the Earth, um, we see more or less of the bright side of the moon from wherever, depending on where you are on Earth. Um, and then another question that is often asked, well, what does the moon actually do to Earth? What's the moon's effect on Earth? And the reason why the moon does affect Earth is because of the moon's gravity. And we'll get to, um, I know a lot of you guys are new, and weren't here for my lesson where I talked about physics and where I explained the definition of gravity, but I'll touch on that more at the end so I don't interrupt the lesson. But the moon's gravity essentially pulls on our oceans, on the oceans on Earth. And the moon is what creates tides, whether that's high tides or low tides that happen every day. And it also helps the Earth stay tilted at about the same angle. And the Earth's tilt, as you can see, like the Earth looks a little bit slanted here, and the reason for that, or the effect of that, is that we have stable seasons. So that's also what the moon helps with. Okay, we have another question. What is this moon phase? Do you guys want a hint? Um, what shape does it look like right now? Because that's part of the name of the phase.
Yeah,
Were you gonna say something, Galila?
it does look like a banana.
That is true. It does look like a banana. But do you remember what word we used to describe it?
Mm,
It starts with a C.
The the crescent moon.
Crescent. Okay. Crescent is part of it. And then remember what I said, that there were these two words in front of it that looked the same, but they were, one letter difference. It was waxing and waning. Do you guys know whether this is a waxing crescent or a waning crescent? Do you remember what I said about it? Whether it's showing on the right side or the left side?
It's a waiting crescent.
It's a waning crescent.
Yeah.
Mm, this one is a waxing crescent, but you're right, it was 50-50. A waning crescent is whenever it is, I'll go back to what I had over here. Anything waning is whenever the light is showing from the left side. And then a waxing crescent is whenever the light is showing from the right side. So this would be a waxing crescent. Next, I have another question. Um, it has to do with what I was talking about with gravity and all that. But why don't planets just fly into space when you think about it? I said earlier that all of our planets are orbiting the sun. Oh, you're raising your hand, Miles?
Um, am I too early, or should I say that they don't
Maybe.
just fly because they don't just fly because they have an axis.
Okay, okay, yes. And axis is also part of it. Um, and what I was saying earlier is that all the planets orbit the sun. Um, and to like rephrase my question to everyone in the meeting, um, the my question is why don't why do our planets stay orbiting the sun? Why don't they just go off and do their own thing? Maybe to help out you guys answer this a little bit. I know here I talked about the moon's gravity, and I'll give you a definition of gravity. Because the definition of gravity, whenever we talk about physics, normally we're talking about gravity on Earth, which is a little different. There's a little bit of a different definition whenever we're talking about gravity in space. Whenever we're talking about gravity in space regarding planets and stars, the definition of gravity is the force that attracts all objects with mass towards each other. Essentially meaning that an object will be attracted in space to another object with a greater mass. So because, the Earth has a greater mass, meaning, it weighs more than the moon is attracted to the Earth, and so it orbits around it. So using that um, logic, using that knowledge, basing it off of what the moon does with Earth, our planet, why do you guys think all of the planets in our solar system orbit the sun? Okay, I'll break up the question a little bit more. Do you guys think that the sun has more mass than our planet, than Earth?
Um, yes.
Okay, that's correct. The sun, I'll spoil it a bit now. Guys, the sun is the biggest thing in our solar system. It has the most mass out of all of our planets, even Jupiter, which Jupiter is a very, very big planet. It is bigger than Jupiter. So to put things into perspective for you guys, um, so obviously I'll go back to the south planets. As you can see, Earth is right there, and Jupiter's right here. Earth is right here, right? For reference, 1,300 Earths. So 1,300 of our Earths of our planet could fit inside Jupiter. That's how big Jupiter is, right?
I think why they don't just float up into space is because they all have mass and they're attracting each other.
Mm, you're halfway there. You're halfway there. Um,
Um, um, is it because gravity and I know it starts with the I or something like that?
okay, yes, the answer is gravity. Um, and what's it called? Like because the sun is so big in that sense. Like we said earlier, if 1,300 different Earths could fit inside Jupiter, and the sun is 10 times bigger than Jupiter, it has 10 times more mass, um, then it's, obviously the biggest thing in our solar system. And it has, it's attracting the planets are so attracted to the sun, and that's why they stay orbiting them. So to answer the question, gravity is the reason why planets don't just fly into space. They're so attracted to the sun, to the sun's gravity. The sun's gravity attracts them so much that that it keeps them orbiting. It so gravity keeps the moon orbiting Earth because the Earth is has a lot more mass in comparison to the moon. Gravity keeps us from floating into space on Earth, and the sun's gravity keeps planets in orbit. Um, I guess a bit of a challenge question for you guys would be, why does the moon orbit the Earth even though the sun is bigger and has way more mass than the Earth? And we said earlier, that gravity is whenever things with mass are attracted to other things with mass, normally attracted to things with a larger mass than their own. So why is it that the moon orbits the Earth instead of the sun? Does anyone know?
Um, Because it's nearer to Earth?
Yes, that is correct. Good job, good job. That was a challenge question. Because the moon is because the moon is so much closer to Earth than it is to the sun, that's why the moon orbits the Earth. And our planet, well, we call our moon the moon, but other planets also have moons in that sense. So that's why planets can't have moons. So yeah. What would happen if on Earth we had, or if the Earth had no gravity? What would happen to us, humans?
We would float out to space.
Yes, that is also correct. Good job, good job. Um, So next, Miles, you also talked about this bit earlier, but the sun is also a star, and stars are defined, or the definition of stars is that they are massive balls of burning gas. And our sun is a star, and the only reason why it looks so big in comparison to other stars we might see, and whenever, at night, whenever we look into the sky is because it's the closest one to us. It's super duper close in comparison to other stars. Um, Stars are grouped into galaxies. A galaxy is a group of about 1 billion stars, right? And our galaxy is the Milky Way. Um, and galaxies have different shapes. But our galaxy is what we call a spiral shape, as you can see here. This is what our galaxy looks like. Oh, and it's called the Milky Way. And then over here we can see a diagram of our solar system with the sun in the middle. Then we have Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. This is our solar system. Next, we use a bunch of different tools to learn about space. And here are some of the ones we use. Here are three. Telescopes allow us to see far into space. Telescopes have been used to discover other planets, other stars, things like that. Satellites orbit the Earth and they send signals and pictures. Signals and pictures. And space probes are sent to other planets. Most recently and most commonly, like NASA has sent a lot of different space probes to Mars to see, oh, does Mars have water? What could Mars be able to, possibly support life, support human life, things like that. So yes, they travel into space and they send back data. Name one thing that you guys think a satellite might be used for.
Getting pictures from space?
Yes, that is one of them. Does anyone else want to answer before I reveal some other possible answers? Okay, I'll take that as a no. But the satellite is used to help us, say things about weather. Fun fact, depending on the scale and severity of some natural disasters, things like hurricanes can be seen from space. It also helps us with things like GPS, so it can be helped to for maps, phone signals, and space photos, like Miles said. Okay, guys. Since a couple new people are here, I call some questions that I ask at the end exit tickets. Basically, what I do is I just ask questions about some of the things that we talked about during the lesson to make sure you guys are remembering stuff and, some main points I want you guys to take away from what I've taught to you, from what I've said. Okay, what force keeps planets in orbit? Yes, Miles?
Um,
Oh, whoever wants, you guys can both answer.
oh, is it gravity?
Yes, that is the answer. Okay, who can name all 8 planets in order from the sun?
Can I go?
Yes,
Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune.
yes, that is correct. Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. Okay. Does the moon make its own light?
Not really.
Yes, that is correct. The moon does not make its own light. It reflects the sun, or the light of the sun. Okay. What is the name of our galaxy?
I think I might know that answer.
Okay.
Is it the Milky Way?
Yes, it is. The Milky Way is correct. Yay! You guys are 5 for 5. All right, it's 4 for 4. I can't count. Sorry. What is a telescope used for?
Um,
Looking deep into space and exploring more
Yes.
planets.
it's
Mhm.
it's used to look closer to the planets and like
Mhm.
the stars and yeah,
That
kind
is true.
of the same thing that he said.
Yay. Okay. You guys were both correct. It is used to see objects that are far away in space. And then this last one isn't a question with a correct answer, but I just wanted everyone to answer. If you guys could visit any planet in our solar system, which one would it be and why? But before you guys answer, um, I just wanted to, what's it called? I just wanted to tell you guys some fun facts about the different planets. So, to give them a bit more personality, a bit more reasons for you to choose them. One of the fun facts is on Neptune and Uranus, it actually rains diamonds because of how, what's it called? Because of the extreme pressure and temperature conditions, which causes the carbon atoms to bond and form diamonds. Another fun fact is that Venus used to look a lot like Earth, like millions of years ago, but basically what happened on Venus was an accelerated version of climate change, which you guys have all been learning about in environmental science, which is what made the planet as hot as it is and as uninhabitable as it is. Another fun fact is that Mercury is actually the fastest planet in the solar system. It orbits the sun the fastest. Um, Another fun fact about about Venus is that obviously, like I said before, due to climate change and things like that, that happened on the planet, it has a now toxic atmosphere, and it also rotates backwards. A fun fact about Mars is that it has the largest volcano in our solar system. And about Jupiter, I mentioned a couple slides back that it's famous for having a giant, it's called a red spot on the planet. And it's actually a really big storm that's called the Great Red Spot that has been like happening for centuries, for hundreds and hundreds of years. And Jupiter has a lot of really big moons. Saturn, obviously, is famous for its rings, and the rings are actually made of ice and rock. So yeah, those are my fun facts about the planet. You guys don't remember all of them. I said them pretty fast, but now I'm gonna re-ask the question. Um, and I just want all of you guys to answer, so we can have some discussions, talk about it, things like that. If you could visit any planet in our solar system, which one would it be and why?
Um, it would be Saturn be
Mm-hmm.
because so I have this favorite singer and her name is SZA and she made a song named
An
Saturn.
album called Saturn?
Yeah, or something. Then and I also like it because the little circle thingy has like ice and I like
Mm.
cold stuff.
Okay, okay, that's a good reason.
A lot.
Okay,
Can I go?
yes, you can.
I think it's called Uranus because I want to see if it's a real actual like how freezing cold is it?
That's a good reason. That's a good reason. Um, okay. Who wants to go next?
I guess I'll try.
Mm-hmm. There's no correct answer. I just want to see what you guys think. I just want to hear your guys' opinions.
I would like to go to Jupiter because I've been hearing about like what it is and I think it's interesting.
Okay, okay. Do you want to see the storm?
Sure.
Okay. Um, Miles?
I would like to go to Mars because I like hot places and I want to know how hot it is.
If you like hot places, so you want to go to Mars?
Yeah.
I see. Actually, Mars is pretty cold. It's pretty cold. But you could take, I don't know, a little swim in the volcano since has one of the biggest volcanoes. So it's a good point. It's a good point. I think my answer would probably be, I guess Saturn, because you would be able to see the rings of Saturn, like Saturn's rings, whenever you're on the surface of the planet. And I think it'd be pretty cool to look up in the sky and see the rings. That's my answer. Um, but overall, that's the end of today's lesson. Did you guys have any questions for me? Clarification on any of the fun facts that I said? Any questions about anything that I said earlier?
I have a question.
Okay, what is it?
Um, you actually never told us that Jupiter and Mars and Saturn, Jupiter and Neptune and all of them are both gas giants.
You're correct. I did not say that. But like you said, we actually have a couple of gas giants in our solar system. And like Miles said, I'll go back to my slide on it with all the planets. The different gas giants are Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. And what a gas giant means is that the planets are mainly composed of gases like hydrogen and helium, and they don't have a solid surface, unlike our planets over here on the inner part of our solar system. Are there any more questions?
Um, you might not like know this one, but so when was the of the solar system made?
So this is actually right now anyway. It's kind of a debated topic, but going based off of what scientists have theorized previously, what they've, come to the conclusion of, is that the solar system was created about 4.6 billion years ago. And it was created by an event called the Big Bang.
Mm, okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I
Okay.
have a question.
Mm-hmm. What is it?
When was the asteroid belt made?
When was the asteroid belt made?
Yeah.
Well, since the whole universe was made about 4.6 billion years ago, it would probably be a couple like 100 million years after that. Because it would have taken time for um the astro the rocks and space to, form in that sense. But it would probably be around the same time as the whole universe was made. Because all of the like the swirling gas and dust would have um led to the creation of the asteroid belt. So probably the same time that the whole universe was made, or the whole solar system was made. Are there any more questions? You guys have very good questions today.
So, what does Astros do to like help the the solar system?
What does an asteroid do to the solar system?
Yeah.
Okay, so asteroids are basically just like, well, they can be bigger, but they're normally small, like rocky objects that orbit the sun. Um, but sometimes they get like knocked around, which is why, have you guys heard how what killed all the dinosaurs was that an asteroid hit Earth?
Oh,
What were you saying?
oh, I just said oh.
Oh, I
Yeah.
see. But yeah, it's very or pretty rare for any asteroids to hit Earth, so it's not something to be worried about. Um, Especially because whenever things enter our like atmosphere, whenever they start entering the planet, um, let's say an asteroid did want to hit Earth, it would probably be heavily reduced in size due to the pressure that it would experience when passing through our atmosphere. Um, so yeah, they can hit planets. They can hit maybe, some of the satellites we have out there, or any of the other things that we have in space. But other than that, yeah, that's pretty much what they do, other than orbit the Earth. I mean, other than orbit the sun. Are there any more questions?
Yeah, me.
What's up?
Um, how come you never told us about dwarf planets?
Dwarf planets. Well, to answer your question, I didn't talk about it because I wanted to focus on things that were mainly, in our solar system, the main planets. But since you brought it up, I will say the most famous dwarf planet that we have is Pluto because it used to be considered a planet in our solar system, but that has changed because it didn't fit all the classifications that it needed to be considered a planet. One of those classifications was really how big it was. Pluto is very, very, very small. It's a very, very small dwarf planet, as most dwarf planets are. It's a very, very small celestial body, which is one of the reasons why it lost its status of being a planet. Dwarf planets are considered to be different celestial objects that orbit the sun. And they're massive enough to have their own gravity, but they don't have enough mass to have a clear orbit or orbit for other objects. Like Pluto as a planet, it doesn't have enough mass to have other objects orbit it in that sense. So yeah, those are dwarf planets. That's why I didn't mention it. I thought that I wouldn't have the time to. Does anyone have any more questions? If that's all, this is our last lesson. It's the last one out of our 6 weeks. But thank you guys all for coming. I had a lot of fun teaching you guys.
Um, well, I have one more question.
What is it?
So why can um so like when you go to like outer space and like you wear the thing like the thing.
The spacesuit?
Yeah.
Um,
And I know like why they wear it, but but what will happen if they don't like on the planets?
So in space, there's a lot of different reasons why we need a suit to go into space. One of the reasons is that there's no oxygen in space. There's no air for us to breathe. So that's one of the reasons why we would die if we would if anyone tried to go into space without a suit. Another reason is that what's it called? It's very cold in space. We wouldn't be able to survive the temperatures, which is why we need a suit to regulate the temperature, make sure we are at a temperature that's enough to sustain us. So yeah, those are the two main reasons why we would not be able to go into space without a suit. So yeah, main two reasons are there's no oxygen in space, and the second being that it's way too cold in space, that it would pretty much kill us immediately.
Okay.
Um,
Thank you so much.
okay, of course, of course. Okay, it is the end of my lessons. Now it's break time. Do you guys wanna, I don't know, play a bucket, or do you guys wanna just chill out until it's Edith's time to teach environmental science?
Any will do.
Can we just chill and wait?
Yeah, you guys can.
Like how much minutes? Like
It's 15, so until 7 o'clock.
okay.
Have fun chilling, guys.
You too.